This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Have only $5 left in your account? Turn that to 500. FanDuel. How's that ad read? Why are you frozen?
I'm scared. What just happened? What just happened right there? Did I just
faking
say
it
what? Are
faking
you
it till you
sucking at
make
the
it.
teeth of gambling?
Of FanDuel? Fake it till you make it. Like, who? They won't know if we're actually sponsored by FanDuel or not.
At least pick like an interesting gambling company.
Steak. What
Or like
interesting?
Bet365.
Yeah, but that seemed risky. That seemed
like-
I don't know. FanDuel seemed like believable enough that they were sponsoring this podcast.
Or pick like Polymarket, like a prediction market, like Kalshi.
Polymarket was at the Golden Globes, and I didn't like that. So
Really? I don't actually watch the Golden Globes.
I didn't watch
said,
either.
I've been doing my actual job, the one that pays me.
Yeah, and I was watching Industry. I think it was Polymarket. They were doing like they were like showing like screenshots of like who would win during the event. Like Timothy's Samson's chance. And I was like, oh my god, how have we turned this into a gambling thing?
Bro,
that's the only reason why that FanDuel was even in my head.
Everything is gambling now. I hope you know.
Yes, it is. I do
Everything
know.
is gambling.
I do know. Guys, we're not sponsored by FanDuel, but maybe we are. Look, I'm not going to say I'm not going to accept a FanDuel
Nigga, you just
sponsorship.
did their ad for free. You said no, they're not accept. So are you less likely to do it when they want to pay you?
Was that a good ad? I don't know if that would be good. Anyway, whatever.
It wasn't
we'll
great.
see.
Like I didn't
It
want to
wasn't
use
great.
FanDuel after that.
Yeah, because that was the joke. It was meant to be a bad ad. Are you ready?
I'm very ready, Bankole. I was born ready.
Okay.
It's my purpose.
I have to cut that out.
Let me fulfill my function. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'll stop now.
No, you soon realize why I was laughing. Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast, and welcome back to sunny and serene Somerset. I'm Bankole and Eyo, and today it's all about the second episode of Industry's 4th season. Joining me once again, encouraging all my worst vices. He may or may not be real, but I have to let him fulfill his function. It's Eyo and how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You're stepping on my intro in the cold open.
I did. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I think that's just we're so in sync sometimes.
Yeah, we are. So
people call us the Mickey and Conrad of industry podcast.
Who's
everybody's saying it. Everybody's saying
everybody's saying it. You're right. Yeah.
Check the comments.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you. Block the comments.
I'm so intrigued to talk about this episode with you. I don't know your thoughts about this episode, so I'm very intrigued to talk about this episode with you. There's going to be a lot we're going to talk about. I'm intrigued about what people are going to think about this episode.
Yeah.
So, but before all of that, guys, A Night of Seven Kingdoms is out now, the first episode, along with hopefully our first podcast on the first episode on all platforms and also on YouTube. So just check wherever you're listening or watching this. It's an intriguing show. It's definitely not Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. So I really hope people kind of like adjust their expectations. I've seen at the point of recording, I've seen a couple, and like luckily I'm not recording on it, so I don't have to have like deep, insightful thoughts. My only thought right now is like, it's a good hang.
Fair.
It's like if you were in Westeros and they've just gone to the offside to do this little fun funny show.
It's like a side quest.
It's a side.
I see.
That's the word, side quest. Yeah, there's no like big dramatic tension, at least so far. It's more just like this little character, what is literally a 1/2-person show. So, but so far I'm enjoying it. I'll see what the rest of the season holds. We are covering Fallout. Please check that out as well with Pete Peppers. As well as Trading Desk is back, which is our weekly industry preview episodes. If you're new to our industry coverage, you might not know that we do 2 industry episodes a week because we are over-indexed on this show. So check that out as well. Comes out on the weekends before each new episode. Please rate and review wherever you listen to this. Please like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. speaking of YouTube, we also get comments there. So please drop some comments on the episodes and we'll try to either address them on YouTube or we'll discuss them on the podcast. And we did also get a comment from Spotify on Spotify for our first episode, which I want to touch on quickly. I think it was from someone called Ifia2. And she kind of, well, first of all, she asked us to ask Mika and Conrad, which was like, I don't understand the access you think we have, but I really, really do appreciate the support. But she was asking us kind of like if Wit and Jay Jonah's relationship in the first episode reflected their relationship, or rather their conversations about how to take the show forward, right? And I sent out you, Ayo, and you said you also kind of had similar thoughts in the first
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, almost bar for bar. I thought that interaction. My bias is whenever I see two people who are in a partnership on this show, I always
Mhm,
think, "Are you writing about yourselves?" Right? I don't know if that's because that is what I would do.
mhm,
But seeing that conversation, it felt like, "Hey, are we ready to take this out of the bank? Like, leave the institution or leave the structure that you had within the bank, and then do a much bigger show, which is riskier because
mhm.
there's things that you can fall back on within the bankiness of it that people like. And then when you lose that, I mean, there's upside, but there is also like potential downside. I didn't, after like watching the scene, I didn't think it would probably be between Mickey and Conrad. I
Okay.
don't, I wouldn't think that that's the kind of conversation they have. I think just reading interviews from them, I know how ambitious they are, and I know
100%,
the kinds of
100%.
stories they want to tell. So I don't think they would have been at loggerheads over that decision. I read it as maybe this is something the network would have said, or someone on the network might have said at some
Or
point,
the fans, maybe.
or the fans.
Yeah. Because I would admit that this idea never really came to my head until I saw this comment specified. Because I'm just like, we've read interviews with Mickey and Conrad, we've spoken to Mickey and Conrad twice. Like, they are both Whitney, right?
That's fair.
Maybe not
Yeah.
as like vicious, but like they both have that kind of ambition and thing. So I never really considered there would ever be like you said, like a fight between them. But it makes sense if it's something they're trying to convince HBO, even though HBO as well are quite creative and quite um ambitious. So maybe like also convincing the fans like, look, we want to kind of go forward. We're not trying to be Succession of madmen. Why Succession of madmen killer? So it's like so it's yeah, so I can I like the fact that you and her would align on that comment because I never considered it and it does make sense. Um so I hope we've answered your question if you had to. If we do get to speak to Mickey and Conrad, maybe we'll bring it up. But I'm sure they will talk about it at some point and maybe we'll share that in the comments or wherever. Should we go to episode 2?
Let's.
Um it is titled The Commander and the Grey Lady. It is written and directed by Mickey Down and Conrad K. If you search up The Grey Lady online, it is just a bunch of ghost
It's
stories.
ghosts. I was,
Oh,
yeah.
so you looked it up
I
too
did the
as well.
same thing. I did the same thing. Just a bunch of ghosts.
And I was like, oh, we should have known when this
That's
when this
fair.
episode was going.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. And as an aside, that led me down a really weird kind of tunnel just to bring you up to speed on where I've been the last
Okay.
last week. So I watched this episode, I think last week, Sunday, after we did our
Mm-hmm.
previous recording. And then obviously search up the Grey Lady. As I'm wont to do, I'm like, oh, ghost stories. What else is there? And the first thing that comes to my head, obviously, is the bent neck lady, which means nothing to you because you're not a Flanistan like me. But The Haunting of Hill House, written and directed by Mike Flanagan,
Mm-hmm.
had a ghost in it called the bent neck lady. And then I was like, oh, I really should rewatch that. And then I open up Netflix to start rewatching it and then end up rewatching a completely different show, which is Dark.
What's your
So I've been watching Dark for the last the last week. I'm on
How did
season
you
2
end
now.
up
I don't know. I don't know. That's where I am. But yes,
um
Grey Lady, a
okay.
ghost.
Yeah. Ayo, what makes an industry episode?
Um I don't think there's an answer for that.
Just
There
not,
isn't. There isn't. I
there's no
think okay, fine,
answer.
fine. In terms of plot points or okay, let's get a little technical then.
Yeah, let's go
There is
technical.
no there's no monster of the week. There's no case of the week.
Mm-hmm.
There is no even like the Vampire Diaries. There's no event of the week,
Mm-hmm. There's no
right?
mystery.
There's no mystery. There's no yeah. So there's nothing. There's nothing that's as procedural on that level that would work. I think in previous seasons there will be something around finance happening, but also that these characters will play with each other. I
Mm-hmm.
think now what makes an industry episode is that we get some of the industry characters, but then we also get like really good writing. And I think that is the flaw. Like you're going to get you're going to be blown away with what you see on
Mm-hmm.
screen and what you hear in the dialogue. Um, but I think everything else is up for grabs right now. I think everything else is up for grabs. Also, you will feel something,
Okay. So
and there might be a penis.
when I because I also watched this episode straight after the last recording, I'll also tell you my own story of the last week as well. When I watched it, that was literally the first note I wrote. I was like, it was a question to you, like, what makes an industry? Because like, do you like this episode? Let me. I've just realized I haven't asked you that
Yeah,
question.
you had it. And I was waiting for it to come. Do you think I liked it? Knowing what you know about me and what I like.
Yes.
I did. I did. Of course I did.
But also you're also in the bag of the industry is
I
a
am
biased
industry
question.
pilled, but
But like, yeah,
I think
yeah,
I
I
think
do.
even without all of that, I think it's just a great episode of television.
So I all time that, and I also like this episode as well, and I want to talk about it in a second. But tying that with my question of what makes an industry episode, I asked a few of our friends, podcast listeners, podcast contributors, podcast owners. I was like, what if I told you there was a Musk, Jesus, there was a Muck centric episode of industry, what would you, or what would that trigger in your mind? What would you expect? Um, Obira said he doesn't know, which is actually the most accurate answer I got.
It is the
I
best
was like,
answer.
yes. TMT was like, it'll be an episode when he hung out with Azealia Banks and Grimes and Russell Crowe. And I was like,
Did
fuck
you
you, just be
ask him about Musk?
serious.
Did you ask him about Musk?
I,
Is that what you did?
and I asked him about Mock, and he was like, that was his answer. Obviously, comparing him to Musk. But then these next ones are a bit more kind of pertinent because Ebuka was like a tech billionaire trying to buy social media websites. Daniel Bashir was like a crypto episode or a social media company going to shit. Um, and then he also made a joke about Mock and God, I'm going to do the Mock and Musk mistake all season now. And Mock and Wits buying the social media to be the social media of Bukaki, and I was like, that's already Twitter, but well done. And then Ebube had a lot of answers, and I was like, I see what you think about this man. But he was like a tech-fueled media consolidation, weaponized conservatism, amoral wealth aggregation, self-anchorized hegemony, validation-driven technocrats, billionaire-infested governments, gross corporate negligence, inflated executive compensation, legacy-obsessed pronatalism, which I had to look up, which just means having children, and irresponsible leadership. But you see, there's a throw line between all these answers. Like
Which
it's all
is
like tech billionaires things,
trying to do
and that
bad
is
things in the world.
yes, and that is not what this episode is about. Like that is so far from what this episode. And I was laughing when this message was coming because I was like, that's what I would have thought as well. And you and I like this episode. And somebody, if I'm playing man on the street here, just the average Joe walking down the street, he could be like, oh, you guys are boring. You only like things that are different. And like when something is different, you want to act like you have liked it. Like speak of the Rishi episode, things like that. So I want us to actually, what I want to do this episode, I want us to actually drill down on why we like this episode. So like leave it in plain fact. I think, and I'll start in case you need time to kind of like think about it. Before I watched this episode, I saw a tweet, which obviously was before the show had aired. Sorry. And then someone was talking about the only downside about watching industry is that I have to stick with Henry Muck this season. And like Kit Harington is not a good actor.
Oof,
And these are things that like you and I just objectively do not agree with, right?
bad
So
takes.
it's just bad takes. But that was funny that I saw that tweet and then literally 5 minutes later I watched this episode and I was like, if you were not pro, if you're not even pro, if you're not aligned with the Mock character going in. Like, I feel like this has to turn you. Like, this is such a good episode about his psyche and his mentality and his
Okay.
state of being that wait, what did you think I was gonna say?
I don't know what you meant by aligned with the Mock character. I had no idea what you
Oh,
meant by
no,
that.
no, no. as a character, not like
Okay,
not
yes, yes. And
his
I
not
get that
his
now. But then
yeah, yes.
so turns you? I was like, bro, I'm not turned.
No, no, no. So
I'm
like it's like
disturned.
yeah, and it's like if you're not like if it shows so much about his mentality and his psyche and type of thinking he has. And
The kind of
I
person he is. Oh,
yes, and I watched this episode a week ago for us, and I was thinking about it all week. And one of the notes I wrote when I was at work one day was just like, pain is real. As like we can eye roll like someone who wastes their privilege or who is oblivious to like their wealth or who maybe is unenthused because of champagne problems, right? Like, oh, like I've lost $1 million or whatever, like little things are like, oh, whatever, this doesn't
precious
matter.
your money.
But then when it's something as universal as a loss and mental health and like fear of like ending up like your father, like all of those things are so real that I think if you're open to it, if you're patient enough with the storytelling, like it's impossible to not like see the reality or the humanity of that character.
Yeah.
And I was reading about it all week, and I was just like, this is just such an incredible way of showing us this character, like being like you said last week that they were very naked with their storytelling ambitions. So I think they were very naked with Mock in this episode more than
Yeah.
once. But like it's just using these things that had kind of been alluded to in second season, in third season, or sorry,
That
his
season.
first
Yeah.
appearance. And this kind of opens on like this is who he is as a human being. Like we can laugh about his Lumi downfall
Yeah.
or his stint in politics or whatever, but like as a human being, these are the frailties that he's dealing with,
Yeah.
and they're actually kind of universal in a
They
way.
are. They
And
are. But
yeah, so
I would say it's interesting that that's your read coming out of it. That hey, this is like sort of like a universal human story, kind
mhm,
of. Yeah. Whereas my read, having watched it twice, coming out of it was, yes, this man is dealing with a lot of genuine pain, but there's people in his life that are trying to drag him out of it, and he's choosing to wallow, which again is a thing that a lot of us can do, right? Like a lot of
yes,
people take an L and decide to sit there, right? So I guess in that sense, it's a very universal thing. But I didn't. Okay, maybe this is what I'm trying to say. I didn't come out of this episode feeling any pity for Henry Muck.
okay.
I empathize, but I did
Mhm.
not sympathize, especially at the end of the episode.
I didn't feel pity either. I felt understanding.
Okay, cool. Then I think we're on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely I didn't feel pity. But like I don't think he's choosing to swallow it. I think he sees no other option. Like I think somewhere he says in it, maybe it was to Note, you know, it's like I see nowhere out. Or maybe it was to Yasmin, I
Yes,
can't remember who it was
yes.
to. So
It
it's
was
not like
Yasmin. Yeah,
it's not it's it is a bit of self-pity, but it's not really self-pity. It's just like he doesn't see any other option
and that's fair. And
from
maybe
yeah,
that might be in terms of our understanding of to the degree of his mental health problems or his depression
yeah,
really, and
yeah,
suicidal ideation, right? I think there is an understanding. Okay, there is a level there that you genuinely can't see anything else. But to skip ahead to the end of the episode, he suddenly sees, which to me, I'm like, okay, could something have
wait,
happened earlier?
wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean, he's suddenly pulled out of it. And
Okay.
I'm not sure what that turn was, right? So let's discuss there. Let's get to the
Yeah,
end of the
we'll
episode and
get there.
then
We'll
we'll
get
see.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just got literally as a record, I just got another message from someone I asked Lola Day about the same question. And again, it's just the same thing. It's like tweeting about market manipulation, financial market. I just love the fact that everybody's like thinking that nobody thinks that we're gonna see a more human version of of Mark. And I think clearest comp that this show has done is obviously the Rishi episode, right? White Christmas.
Yes.
That's the kind of the but that even that one felt it was character, but still a lot of plot.
It was still a lot of plot. It
There is
moved a
no
lot of
plot in this
things.
episode.
It moved a lot of
Like
things forward. Yes, there is zero plot. Well, maybe
it's
2% plot.
it's yeah, like 1%. Like it's very, very minuscule plot. But yeah, we'll walk towards the end. One of the big revelations this episode is that Mock has been lying about the circumstances around his father's death. Right. I went back to 303, and what he says to Yasmin in the pool is one day his dad, stood up from the Sunday lunch table without a word. They found him 2 days later. He'd
Mhm.
walked onto the mall, blown his head off. Just a complete lie. Like I
It's
just,
fiction. I mean, I guess
just
he did get up from the table.
that's the only part that's true.
I guess he did.
And then he also says that actually I'll save that quote for later. But yeah, so and then he also says that when I started having similar thoughts in my last year of school, the only way I could get rid of those thoughts was by building something of my own.
Mhm.
What do you think? How do I put this now? What do you think was the importance of Mock to like? Because he says it's here that that was the only way he could see to get to know doing something of his own. But I guess I didn't realize how important that was to him. I thought it was more of in season 3. I thought it was more of an ego thing, but
Mm.
now it's shown that it was more of a like
I think,
survival thing.
yeah, I definitely, I think it's that. I think it comes down to something that I was thinking around, um, something that Muck says and something that you alluded to in your intro around function versus
Hmm.
purpose. And I think Muck, as a man with a lot of privilege and a lot of money, has agency. Actually, no, first of all, let's talk about the difference between those two words or the way they're used, especially on this show, because I think people have spoken about purpose before, but like function is what he says in this episode when he's talking to Molly and he says, let her fulfill her function.
Yeah,
I read that line as, I don't know what my purpose is. Like this is this person's thing. Let her do
let
it.
them do it. Yeah,
And she's going to be okay because she's doing her function. Whereas he seems like a man that does not have a purpose anymore.
yeah.
And then
But
I
also,
think,
sorry to interrupt you,
yeah,
but Molly, if you take away her function, then who is she? So, like
exactly.
Yasmin, you cannot remove her
Exactly.
essence from her.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Because what she can't exist
yeah. Yes.
anymore once you remove that
Yeah.
function from her. Right. So,
Hmm.
and then I started thinking about the difference between function and purpose. I think when you are working class, you will have a function, right? This is the function you provide. And also, casting our mind back to episode 1, Harper
Yeah.
says this to Rishi. Like, you are easy to forget. I forget the exact code, but it was
Without an
paraphrasing.
economic function, society casts you or something along those
Cast you
lines.
aside.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
Without an economic function. And I think when you're poor, you have to fulfill an economic function. Or, when you don't have wealth, you have to
Hmm.
fulfill an economic function. Um, I think when you get rich, you get agency, or when you have wealth, you have some agency and you can choose. And
Hmm.
then, but you still have to have a purpose, right? Which is then more, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is at the top is, okay, what do I want to do that will fulfill me? And I think that is what Muck no longer has. I think that was what building Lumi gave him. Like, fair enough. He's still, you know, like a bad person and someone that was trying to extract wealth, I guess, maybe.
Hmm.
But I genuinely believe that he believed in what Lumi was doing. Like he thought that was a good idea and a good purpose for him to have,
I think
build
we
a
believed.
utility.
I think we thought so in season 3 as well. I remember I
Yeah,
was discussing it in 303. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that is what that gave him, right? And then he fails at that. He
Hmm.
runs into administration and then pivots to politics, which actually one of my favorite scenes was the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
them reading out the results. Oh, I think some of the acting there was delicious. Yasmin's smile disappearing after she smiles at him, and then they start calling the numbers, and then her smile fades a little bit. And then also, great callback to the election, um,
Campaign
where,
phase.
yeah, campaign face, great. But then also just Tories losing
Mm-hmm.
like their locked in seats uh, for years. Fun fact: my
Okay.
council, well, my borough, the Labour won. Guess by how many votes? Have I told you this?
No, you haven't.
Guess, just guess. Guess how many votes they won by?
5
15. It's insane, insane.
over conservative.
Over the Conservatives, yeah.
Jeez.
Anywho,
Jesus,
so
that's like that's a real like if you do vote, it makes a difference. Like that's like
bruv, I
15.
was screaming. Such as how could you not? You wasted your vote. You wasted. Anyways, um, so he ventures into politics, and then we learned towards during the episode that he actually got into that seat via a by-election. So he was actually the MP for Wakefield for about
Yeah.
6 months,
Mhm.
and then loses it. And that seems to be his tipping point. That breaks him. He feels utterly rudderless at this point.
Yeah, because also from the election to Loom is maybe a year. It's not
Yeah,
really, maybe
it's not a
less.
long time.
All of that happens like in very, very quick succession. Um, so I messaged Conrad about this and I asked him um, if let me get the exact quote
Insider,
up.
insider.
Okay. Luckily here he responded, but I asked him if how much he believed that Henry's pursuits are about him trying to avoid the malaise that his father had that led him to his suicide. Like I said, I before I thought it was just like the normal capitalistic greed and
Mm,
human whatever. But now it's like no, actually, if I don't do this, I might die. Like this is the only way I see in which I am alive in 5 to 10 years, right? And then Conrad
mm,
was like, yeah, like Henry's a depressive, like his father, who was probably manic depressive. And then this is going to go to what you said earlier, and I love this quote from Conrad. It was like, purpose and action are the only way out for Henry.
that's
And
it.
I was just like, and I didn't say anything, but when you're talking about your purpose, it just like kind of just aligns very well with what Conrad was saying. And it's just, I think seeing all of that just kind of, it unlocks the character so much, right? And I, I will skip ahead to one of my notes earlier. Is like, last week I talked about how like they did a very TV show thing of like, hey, in the finale it's Mustin and Harper, but in the premiere we're going to blow that up and make it Harper and Eric, right? Because that's what TV shows do. They just blow up what they did in the finale. Here, I think you cannot get Henry Muck back in the plots without having this episode
Mm,
because we saw that proposal in 308, the finale of last season, and he talks about sharing the needles and like his breakdowns with Yasmin and all
mm,
of that stuff. And I think if you leave the character there and then next season you want him to be working at tender or whatever, right? You need to do that connecting gap. You need to
yeah.
have an episode that shows him either going doubling down or coming out of it. So they needed this episode to kind of like this is episode to that character work that like it's not impossible that we never see this side of Buck again. But they needed, I don't think that would be the case for this show in particular, but that's not an impossible thing for a writing team to do. But they needed to show it, to show kind of like where his psyche was. Because now we see that, oh, actually, the mock that we saw in 301 to 307 was more of a facade. It was more of like a sheen to try and help him get through the day. The
Mm,
real mock is 308. The real mock is the guy that is wearing white and is trying to, and is inviting Yasmin and Rob in, that is like broken down and slumping and basically dragging his feet. That's the real mob. Lumi was his life jacket. Lumi was what he thought could save him.
yeah.
Right. So and it's so like again, it's like he needs to go through this odyssey. He needs to go through this journey of like rebirth, essentially, in order to be able to play a meaningful role in the plot. Like like so we have to do this character work to get him ready for the plot. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I was just again the word every week seems to be impressed, but I'm continually impressed by how these guys do it. But it was like for me, it just any show that is able to like kind of put me deeper into a character's or any episode rather in character's point of view always just works for me because like
Mm.
characters are the thing. Characters are the why we watch TV shows, right? It's like that those relationships, and I just always feel kind of very impressed and like in awe of shows that can do this. Obviously this is like a big mock episode, but like he's kind of the sun in which all these other characters are kind of orbiting around right in this episode. There's some little things happening on the other side I might get to, but
Mhm.
there are kind of like these little interactions and relationships that Mock has this episode that I think we can touch on, right? Obviously Yasmin is one of the big ones, but before Yasmin, there's a great scene with Norton. Um, I was afraid if Norton was gonna like he's not a good person by the sense of the word, but in this
He's
world of
not a
industry,
bad
he's a
guy.
good person. He is.
Not a
So
bad
I was
guy.
afraid that he was gonna take a turn, so but like, he still manages to be like he has that scene when they're going hunting.
Shooting. Yeah.
Yeah. What what were your thoughts on that scene?
I think it's one of my high points of this episode. I really, really enjoyed both their performances, but also just I think the work that Norton is trying to put into that, right? So
Mhm.
this is after he's seen what's happened at breakfast with Yasmin, and he is livid, which
Mhm.
kind of scares me because I don't know if Alexander Norton is becoming the moral center of this show,
That's what
and
I'm
I'm
saying. That's what I'm
scared.
saying.
I am scared if that's gonna because we
That's
lose.
what I'm saying.
You lose Harry Lottie, and then is it gonna be Norton, the Daily Mail head? Anyways, I think his anger in that scene it filled me with so much joy because I was like, oh, he is standing up for Yasmin. He's like,
Mhm.
hey, you're being callous with
Yeah.
your wife. You're going to lose your life. You're going to lose your wife. What are you doing? Stand up. And then Mark is still very much in his like I can't see any other thing apart from
Yeah.
my depression and my
Mhm.
suicide or my impending suicide, I guess is in his head at this point, right?
Yeah.
Um
I mean, he's just come from the army.
he's just
He
come
was
from
with
the
the
army where
guns.
he
Yeah.
he fondled a gun and then was saved by
Yeah.
someone walking in. Um and then Norton basically tells him, he says, um, I've forgotten exactly what Muck says to him about his depression, where he was like, I can't see anything else apart from
Yeah.
this. And then Norton tells him, you have to integrate it into your life.
Mhm. Mhm.
Every step, like step by step, until you're clear of the woods. And honestly, to me, rather than advice or instruction, it sounded like a plea of a man that had been there,
But is
or at
it good
least seen.
advice?
I don't think it is,
I
but
don't think so. Yeah. Mhm.
I think it's a survivor's advice,
It's the
which is
best thing
why,
Norton can do. He's also
yeah.
like 70. Like he's not gonna. There's so much mental health advocacy he knows. Like this is like great for
I mean,
him.
there's not much more you can do apart from say, hey, speak to someone, which they already
Mhm.
covered in their discussion. Take some
They've
drugs,
done
which they already
drugs.
covered in their discussion. So it seems
Yeah.
like the normal ways, the normal routes aren't working. And I think from Norton, and this is why I think it sounded like a plea to me, anyways. He was like, hey, the only way I've seen this work, maybe it's from himself or from like seeing someone else, is for you to just put it on your back and keep going. Your depression it can't hit a moving target. Keep
Mm.
walking. Like as long as you show up every day, you can come out of this.
But even also on that point, he saw Mock's father stop. Like Mock's father lost his job or whatever, and then
Mm,
ended up living with his brother-in-law who is Norton. So ended up probably not working. So he became a stationary target for his depression. Like
yeah,
he stopped moving. So like
exactly.
Norton's like you do everything your father did not do, so we can not end up the same way. So I do. That's a very good point. Yes, I do agree. And I think yeah, he loves Yasmin. He really does
He
admire
does.
Yasmin.
And
Like
I think he does see Yasmin as like in a very literal sense, Henry's savior. I think he thinks
mm,
that if Henry loses Yasmin, he will end up like his father. So I think both of those things are in play.
yeah. Speaking of Yasmin. Or do you want to do Henry and like kind of the other people before we go to Yasmin, kind of like the other
Yeah, yeah,
interactions he
let's. And
has.
I think it actually plays on from this scene, because at the end of that impassioned plea from Alexander, he turns and walks away, right? And then
Yeah.
um Muck, during that conversation, Muck had pointed a gun at him,
Mhm.
right? And then Henry, grabs it and puts it to himself and then gives the plea. What I wanted to talk about there is how nobody reacts.
What do you want him to do?
You guys are watching these guys pointing guns at each other, and I was like, yo, my lord, chill.
I think if anything, this episode also showed kind of like how powerless everybody else is around this thing. Like nothing comes into the room and everybody walks out.
Yep.
Like Harry almost beats a guy to death in the bar, and they're like, "All right,
It
never,
was
no mind."
self-defense.
Yeah, like
That's
it's
what they
like,
said. Yeah. So I
like
think
they're
I
like,
think that was actually what I wanted to talk about. Just in terms of like the power dynamics at play here.
mhm,
It's very Downton Abbey. Well, Downton Abbey, everybody was kind of, but
yeah. I mean, it's the crown I was thinking about all through this episode, like first half of this episode.
fair.
It was the
Very,
crown. Like
very
fulfill her
much.
function is a line that Charles would tell Diana. It's like it's fully a crown. Like the first half is a
That is a
crown
line the
episode for
Queen
me.
would tell would tell
The code,
Charles.
yeah, yeah. True. Well, it depends on which Charles we're talking about. Season 3 Charles, yes.
Okay,
When he was
yes, yes,
still
yes. When he was still
trying to
controllable.
change and yeah, it was good to will. But like 4 or 5 now.
Ungovernable.
But yeah, no. Let's talk about him, Mark and Yasmin.
Mm. My first
Because
note
Yasmin
on
is
this is
yes.
just she's his mom from beginning of the episode. And I think obviously it's written that way and they play into it
Mm-hmm.
in a few ways. But a couple lines that have stood out to me. She was like, "Put your clothes on." Killed me.
Yeah, close on Harry. But even like, okay, should we let's just go straight, let's go straight, direct. Let's go straight to that scene.
Yes.
The scene that I don't think I ever caught it the first time I went there.
Emmy.
It was just like it's a 4 minutes uncut scene.
Give
It's
her the
just
Emmy.
moving. I do want to know how they shot that thing because there's a mirror in that scene, but the camera never catches the mirror. It's very well choreographed because obviously the cameras in this show move. They're not like staying in one place. So like it's acting wise is a very obviously on face of it looks difficult, but it's also a very difficult because like
Emmy.
Yasmin, Marissa in particular starts at an 11 in that scene.
Emmy.
Like as an acting wise, she doesn't get the opportunity to ramp up. Like normally an acting thing in a good scenario, you want to ramp up so you can get, but she just has to start from an 11 and
She comes
somehow
in, he's
keep
on
going.
drugs, and she's
Yes.
screaming immediately.
Yeah, like obviously Kit Harington has a little bit of he sounds like a 7, so he can ramp up a little bit, but like
Yeah.
she comes in already hot and she has to keep that. And it's just going. It's a play because everybody's acting at the highest of emotions. It's very theatrical and everything. Um the writing is also very theatrical. Like what does she say about this? What does she say? Oblivion isn't romantic. It isn't semantic. It will be procedural.
It's
Just another
procedural,
thing
like
for
it's
me to
boring. It's like another. She said it's another event for me to plan. Little black dress,
It's like little black dress, this and that. I was like
and
so
then she
much.
goes on to say, "I promise you, I will forget you." Ah, incredible writing at that scene.
And I think again, this is just really good. I'm going to be an acting nerd for a bit here, but it's just really good from both people here because again, Marissa she has all the power throughout the scene. Like she starts off shouting at him. She has the moral high ground. She has the drugs high ground. All of that stuff. She kind of
Mhm.
thing. Henry has an arc in which he at points thinks he has the power when she shuts him down. So like he's going up and down in his own like belief of his of his power in the scene. And like speaking of the mom thing, when she like threatens to hit him, from that moment on, he is like a dog who has been hit on the nose. Like
Yeah,
he
a
slouches, he's in the
scolded
corner.
child.
He's just I was just like, oh God, I was like, actors, acting is so cool. And you guys understand acting is so beautiful. Um, and I was just, I just really, it's just a great scene. I mean, some nuggets in that scene is like, I do believe that Yasmin has been faithful.
Yes, same.
Um, I don't think like the way it it kind of like every time he mentions like there's the bathtub scene, which again I've never understood the logistics of having the tub in the middle of the room. That's
You're
like
not
a
rich enough now.
oh yeah, obviously it's an old rich thing. I'm sorry,
You're
I
not
just
rich enough.
cannot.
You have staff that clean up after. What are you talking about?
You do have some, but like from that scene, and when he was like, "If you're unfulfilled or whatever," and even when he that says, "Have you been faithful?" Like every time he mentions it, it kind of like it annoys her to like it really like yeah. So I thought it was just a great scene, and she's trying her best, kind of pull him out and everything. But I think again the moral, not the moral, but the points are like you really can't save somebody else
Mm-mm.
until they're ready to save themselves.
Mm-mm.
Like all you can do is be there, say your advice, show your support, maybe scold them if it's needed. But like in the end, it needs to be there. They need to be able to do like he has to do this journey on his own. Um, do you want to do his realization before we talk about like the morning? Or do you want to just finish Yasmin now?
Let's do his realization because that
Okay.
scene leads immediately into like he comes out, he takes drugs and then comes out. Also, sobriety clause in their prenup is so fun because why would he ever? Why would he ever agree to that? He had all the power before they got married. Why would he ever
But
agree to that?
I mean, I guess at that point he didn't think he would need to go back
No, that's fine, but that's still
because
I
do you
don't.
think so?
Family, look at me now. I don't do drugs. But I'm not signing a prenup. I'm
Do
never
you
going to put
think
that in a
sobriety
prenup.
clause was like all drugs, or was it
No,
just
I
like
think anything intravenous, which is why
so?
she says roll up your sleeves.
Yeah, so like cocaine would have been fine. It
Yeah,
was
because
like
she
yeah, so
partakes.
yeah,
Pills
so I
probably
think
fine. Yeah,
yeah, so I do think it was like he never thought he would need like he's like whatever. That's like I'm not gonna do that, right? And
yeah, but
then
still,
I mean she signed the what they call it the stepping
infidelity
out
clause.
clause, infidelity
Yeah,
clause. Yeah,
it's fine. I feel like that's pretty standard. Also,
yeah. So
also at the point where married, she had no power.
true, that's true. He had all the power.
He had
Yeah.
all he had all the leverage at that point. So, anyways, so he does a bit of drugs, goes out, and then
Do you know what drug he
embarrasses.
does?
Um, I thought it was LSD just based on the package, but I'm not sure. Again,
Yeah, you're not.
listeners will know.
That's not your world.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah, I wasn't. Is because it was like it was bluish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What's clear? Is it Molly that's clear?
But I don't
God,
know.
we sound like such nerds. Like we're trying to figure out
Yeah.
like is
I've
weed
been
green?
begging
Is
guys to
weed
give me
like
Molly for
like
years. Nobody wants to give me Molly. No one wants to give me Molly.
who are you begging? I feel like you're begging Rob. You're in London. I think it's very easy to find someone to give you Molly. I
But I'm
don't
not
think it's
going to
that
go out in the
difficult.
street and then profile someone and say, "Can you give me
Oh,
Molly?" No. I ask
I
people in
don't
my
think
life that I know.
just
I'm
walk
like,
around
hey,
Canary Wharf a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure.
hey, can you find time
Anyway,
to set up a really safe way for us to do Molly together? I just really want to try it.
well, I'm sure we can set up. But I'm sure somebody will know. But like, I don't know it because it felt like his eye acting from that moment on is incredible. Like if you just focus on Kit Harington's eyes throughout that, like there in the pub everywhere. But anyway, yeah. So he takes the drug and he goes to embarrass himself. Um, embarrasses Norton, embarrasses Yasmin. Meanwhile, Happy and Wit are just like, what is going on?
Do you think
These
Wit regrets
fucking
his
British people.
CEO? Winnie
No.
cannot pick a CEO to save his life, man. God.
Or can he? Or can he? I think I'll talk about let's no, I'll talk about Whitney. I'll talk about Whitney. He has his own section.
Okay.
But yeah, so he embarrasses himself. Yeah.
And then he is accosted,
Hmm.
arrested by who I thought was his old friend, the commander,
I think
who
that's
comes
we're
in
all
and says, "Hey, let's get out of here." And then they put together some of the best words I've seen next to each other. I'm not going to say them because they're kind
just
of
say
rude.
that.
You say them.
We've talked about
But
drugs, right? Just say that. I don't know what you're
so,
talking about.
no, what he says to him at the end, like, do you want to go to Northern Arms, hand job of a local?
Oh,
It was so well said.
we're talking
Which,
about the barmaid,
yeah,
$10
before,
barmaid, yeah, or
yeah,
£10,
yeah,
yeah.
$10
Um,
hand job of
I
a
remember
barmaid.
that scene confusing because it felt awkward that
Mm.
nobody else was reacting
Was
to like
reacting to
this
this
commander's
random guy
presence.
coming.
Yeah, and like I was like, where did he come from? So like obviously by the end of the episode, it all makes sense. But I was like, this feels sloppy and confusing.
Mm.
So I was, yeah,
I
it
just
was
thought a lot
kind
of
of
people were overpowered by
what was going on,
what
which
was going
kind of
on
makes sense.
already.
Yeah.
They were happy that someone had sort of corralled him and was going to deal with him.
Yeah. I mean, also again, which kind of looks bad in retrospect now. There was a lot of like have these two exploit each other's bodies vibe when Commander comes into screen. But obviously, knowing what we know now, that's a bit it's a bit not even for industries a bit well,
Well,
considering what
well,
happens in this episode. Well,
well. I was like, there is precedent for at maybe one person in that marriage already.
It's Bohemian. It's Bohemian. Um, so the commander is played by Jack Farthing, who I've only ever seen in Ring Dogs, which I think was 2024, maybe. That's also a BBC HBO co-production. We covered it on this podcast. It's a really good show, a really, really heavy show. Daisy May Cooper of Jack Farthing. It's like Ronke, can't remember her last name now. It's a really, really heavy show, really, really like, yeah, intense show. So, and he plays a similar character. He plays a character who is dealing with things and has to go to like a rehab stroke mental health facility during the course of the season. So like it felt like I was like, okay, this makes sense. This is a guy that would have been friends with Henry, right? He gives that vibe of like old money. So yeah, I was yeah, and he at several points he's literally the devil on the shoulder. And even when the priest comes and the priest is the angel on the other shoulder, he's literally the devil on the shoulder. And I was like, you guys are not being subtle, but I appreciate it. Um and it leads to his interaction with Molly. In a different world of us, I would have asked you if Mark has ever slept with Molly, but we know he can't even get you for Yasmin. I love
To
Marisa's
fuck
line of for
me.
me.
Oh. Emmy.
Oh my god.
If you can't,
Oh,
she grabs his balls. uh,
castrate you.
such a
And then
married way as well.
yeah, and then he punches this, he beats this guy first time he's felt anything in a while, and then he talks to the priest, and then he goes to kill himself in the car. Um, yeah.
Thank you.
What
What
do
makes
you?
him not kill himself in the car?
I don't. He hears Yasmin's voice, right? I feel like he has. To me, that was just it. Like it's it's her. I can't think of anything else. Like she's his purpose. What does it say in season 3? You're connected to my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's as simple as that. It might be basic. I just think it's as simple as that. Like
Fair.
she's like the one. I can't think of anything because there's nothing else that has changed pre and post him turning on the car. I think he
Fair.
just hears Yasmin's voice and he's like, no, I want to fight for her. And as we find out, I want to have a family with her. I want to kind of do what my father could not do for another child. Although it's kind of hypocritical because he did say earlier so that the best thing his father could have done
Have a
was to have a
vasectomy
vasectomy.
instead of
So,
passing down this genetic disposition, I guess, to depression.
mhm. What do you think? Why do you think he changes himself?
No,
He
genuinely.
changes.
I think that was it, but I was wondering if there was a deeper reading of it that I could come up with.
I don't have any. I mean, we can do my best quotes now because I think they tie into this, but they're
Mm.
all from the priest, what the priest
Okay.
says to him,
Okay.
where he's like, the first person the coward deserts is himself. Courage ceases to be courage if it wavers, which again felt very much like
Kill
pro-suicide. So I was very
yourself.
confused.
Yeah, it did give very much kill yourself vibes.
But I was also like, we choose to be ruined rather than change. We would rather die afraid than be present for a single second, which I think is the most pertinent one to the whole Yasmin thing, right? We choose to be ruined rather than change is an incredible combination of words to describe humanity and like men really in general. So I think maybe in this space he's choosing to change and not be ruined, like change from what he's doing and change from and not just in staying alive, but also in loving Yasmin and him going for this job that he was scorning at 12 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me embrace the change that you have presented for me and see if it actually does something for
I mean,
this
do
whole
what you
thing.
think is best for us.
Yes, yes, exactly. Um, and then they have sex in the morning, and something I was thinking
And
about
like,
all this episode.
nothing is
Yeah,
watching.
I was thinking about how being rich just kind of like you don't even care about privacy anymore because there's this, and I was thinking of like Mustin and Yasmin's aunt, and I was like, there are like 10,000 rooms in this place. You could just get a room if you wanted, but like you're so rich that you don't care who is watching, right? And I was just like, that's like a type of like I don't know if it's confidence or obliviousness that I would
It's
never just have because
privilege.
yeah, it's just the privilege I would never have. No matter how drunk or horny or whatever I am, I'll always try to find a private room. That's just who I am.
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's like, it's 6 a.m. I'm not going to have sex in the car where all the ground
try it.
staff can see. I just
Try
can't.
it. What if you like it?
Well, only in the forest. The, the famous shagging forest. What's the name of the forest in the UK?
Bro,
Is it in
what
Bristol?
shagging forest are you talking about?
Oh, there's a forest in the UK where like it's famous for like people going to have sex and people going to watch them have sex.
What are you
You
talking
don't know
about?
this?
Never heard about this.
This is why you don't have a Molly Connect. You don't know the
This is
things that
why I don't
happen
have.
in
This
the
is why I've never done
undercurrent of
Molly.
London.
Yeah, that's why I've never done Molly.
um, do you have anything? Well, I think we can wrap up the mock thing. Do you have anything about mock in particular and Yasmin now we want to talk about?
Um, no, I think we've covered it. Go Mark.
Should
He wants to live. Yeah.
Yeah, he does want to live. Should we do mock on Whitney?
Yes.
Eyo, I don't know if you know, but like Max Minghella is back being incredible on this show.
Bro. Can't stand that man. What is he? He eats every time. He eats everybody up.
He eats so
Eats
much.
everybody up. Everybody, any acting part is gobbling you up. Yum.
I didn't bring this up last week because I just wanted to think more about it, but I've been wondering why they made this character American. Because obviously Max Minghella is British, and whenever a British actor is playing an
He
American on a
is
British show, I'm always kind of thinking about why. Oh, were you
interesting.
surprised that he's British?
I didn't know he was British.
Yeah, he's either British or British American, but his dad was British, famously a British director. Um, directed Mr. Ripley amongst others. Um, so
He's a
yeah,
nepo baby.
he's a nepo baby, but we like the nepo babies that are actually good.
Yeah. Who's your favorite good nepo baby?
Colin Hanks.
Not Chet.
No, not Jets. Well, Colin Hanks is always the one I go to. It's just like he's actually really good. Like,
Interesting.
I'm sure there are obviously others. Like, there's so many others, but like he's the one that comes to mind every time. Like Jared
Fair.
Harris is in Nepo VP, obviously, as
Yeah.
well. There are so
Dakota
many
Johnson
others
is
that
my
just
favorite one.
Dakota Johnson.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
love her.
that's just a crazy statement. I don't even know. Like, I'm looking around to see who heard you
Love
say
her.
that. Like, it's just
Love
like
her. Anytime I see her on screen, I'm like, yeah, do it again. Even in Madam
take
Web.
it. Oh, um, yeah. So so I'm thinking about it. And I think he makes some direct comments in this episode about kind of the limits of mobility in America and what nobility gives you in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
which it's kind of weird. It's like, is America less mobile than the UK? I don't think
I
so.
think I think his thing is that it's less forgiving. Like once you're
Okay,
branded as one thing, that's what you are.
fair.
So if you are a failure once, then you are a failure full stop. But I don't believe that.
Hmm.
I don't believe it. Because
But
I think there's many people we can point to in real life that have had second, third, fourth chances.
yeah, yeah, I was
They're
very.
still giving
I
the
mean,
WeWork guy money today.
for what?
For another venture, they're still giving him money.
Must be nice to be a fraud. It's like, but yeah, but also I think the more important thing is like what nobility in the UK gives you, right?
Yes.
Is like that is the kind of that's why he wants, which is why I don't think he regrets the Mock decision. I think he
Fair.
wants Mock, even if Mock is a shell and he controls that shell, like he wants the name Lord Henry Mock or Sir Henry Mock, whatever his title is.
Sir.
And
Sir
he's
Henry.
like longevity in Britain is about access, and he wants a native partner. And you and I were discussing this offline, I think after episode 1. I was like, what does he want Tender to be? And he says it here. He's like, I'm building a one-stop shop. an in-your-pocket democratic financial institution for everyone from the working man to the wealthiest plutocrat inclusive, which is a bank,
Yeah, like,
but
what are
it's
you
just
talking
like
about?
it's like,
Just shut up, bro. Like, what do you mean it's a bank killer when you just described a bank? Okay, but the only difference is that everybody can go to your bank.
but can't everybody go to every bank?
No, no, no. There's some banks where you need. Well, I mean, it's a choice. But there's some banks where you need a certain level of net worth or, initial deposit before they'll talk to you. Um, but I personally don't get it yet. I don't get it yet, but we'll see.
We'll see. Um, yeah, and he wants Mock to be CEO because, like we just said, he wants Mock's name and nobility and nativity and all of that stuff. And um,
He does a
that's probably
great
where.
job of like fluffing up Mark.
Yes, but also like the stats he lays out are not like they're not lies. Like you
Yeah,
can't
they're not
lie about
fluff.
those
No, no, no.
stats.
But yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
It's not.
which means
Okay,
Mock was
fine. It's
actually
not
doing
lies.
something.
But I don't know if he maybe he does believe in Mark, or maybe all he needs is the name. I don't read it as him believing in Mark, but the things that he says sounded like he believed in him, which
Hmm.
leads me to think he is doing the thing that he transparently tells Mark he's doing in that conversation, where he's like, "You just need to tell a different story."
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think
True.
I think
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
just telling a story. Like it's easy to put all those facts together and form a narrative. It doesn't mean that that's true,
Hmm.
right?
No, I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, and the facts laid out to show that like Mock was actually trying to do something
Yeah.
or at least going somewhere. So yeah. So it looks like Mock will be in the tender world. So we'll kind of see where that goes. Speaking of
He has
tender,
my favorite line in this episode
which
at
is
during that conversation where he says, "I'm a fraud touched by success." I'm like, fuck, man. I
where
wish
it's
I
like
had
yeah,
written that.
it's like no, your successful thinks is a fraud,
Yeah.
which again, spin, just spin,
The guy's
spin it.
good. He's good.
Um, speaking of mm, tender, quickly, Harper and Wait have one scene this episode. I wasn't sure I was able to decipher that scene.
Couldn't read it. Couldn't read it.
Yeah,
And I watched it
okay,
like
it's not
three
just
times
me.
because I was like, what is she? Is she scared?
Yes, there's her facial reactions, the score
Yeah.
are quite kind of like I don't know, like
It's definitely unsure. I think at a base level, she's not.
mhm,
Yeah, she's not joining in for a
okay.
nightcap.
Yeah, and I was like, it was like we don't know what's happened in the month since. Has she been talking to James Dyker?
Yeah.
Is she kind of still more suspicious of him when he's talking about his whole funeral home venture? She looks quite unsettled.
She looks,
So it's
yeah, she does look disturbed by it.
yeah.
Like, how
So
could you think about? I think sometimes we forget that Harper she's just a human being. Like, she's just a girl at the end of the day, man. Like, you come talking to her about how, yeah, man, it's easier to just burn these bodies down because we're gonna make a buck. Yeah, she's gonna be a little unsettled by that.
so you think it was the humanity that was like that
I think
was
that's
surprising her?
in conjunction with whatever would have happened in the intervening month with Jimmy
Hmm.
Dyker. I call him Jimmy Dyker in my head. He looks like a
Why?
Jimmy. He looks like a Jimmy. He doesn't look like a James or a Jim.
Okay. So it looks like
It's
a
little
gym, but not a gym.
He looks like a little Jimmy Dyker. Yeah, little Jimmy D.
Okay. I'm not gonna fight you on this. Okay, the let's wrap up with Yasmin. I'll just say she's doing good. She's doing quote unquote good work with like Bevan and Norton. Kind of, she's trying to kind of be the translator, right, of the right to the left and the left to the right. You do know who is the minister of business, right?
Lisa Dan, they said, right?
Yes, and you know who
And that
that
was
is
from last season.
for anyone
She
who doesn't have yeah from last.
eviscerated my company, man.
Yes, Robert. Yeah. So anyone who doesn't know, she's the person who was the head of the Inquisition in season 3. Um, there's something there with Bevan and Yasmin.
Yeah.
Like they inviting for cocaine. There's something there. We don't know what it is there. We don't know what it is yet, but
So I
there's gonna be
haven't
something
buffed the
there.
line since uni.
Um, Oh shit. Okay, let's rewind. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to the Norton and Henry and Yasmin, the end when they're having sex. Um, three plot lines I hate in TV shows:
Mm-hmm.
unexpected pregnancy. We fucked once and now I'm pregnant.
Fair.
The father dies and his partner is surprisingly pregnant. As you can see, there's a common thread here.
Yeah.
So when they are having sex and then
I
Norton
think
says spring is
spring has
coming,
come. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, let's not do this, please.
She's
Then
gonna be
when Mock is
unexpectedly
like,
pregnant.
no, yeah, or just like when Mock is like, let's have a child, I was like, oh God. But then Yasmin not wanting it kind of made me a bit happy. I just don't want a pregnancy storyline. I just don't want that
Fair.
personally.
I
So
think maybe in the next episode we should spend the first 10 minutes unpacking that.
why I don't want a pregnancy storyline.
Yeah, yeah. Or why those are your three most hated storylines in all of television. What
I just
happened? What
think
happened there?
so. No, it's not just pregnancy as a storyline. I think usually that
Unexpected stroke
surprise thing,
unwanted.
yeah, it usually just seems like it derails the character trajectory.
Fair.
Like if the character is trying to have a child, that's different. Like,
Okay.
but like
Okay.
it always seems like this kind of one is like, and obviously maybe that's what the writers plan, but like, oh, we fucked once and now we're pregnant. It's like, oh, well, we're going somewhere. We're going somewhere with this story. Like, why have you now made it about a child? And it's like, so yeah, I was just like,
There's a
what does
lot
having a
there.
child do to this Yasmin and Mop relationship that well? Like, how does that help the storyline? So, like for example, like Succession now, right? I'm happy that it ended with she pregnant. Like, if the next season was a baby, I was like, what are we doing? Like, I don't
Fair.
want that.
Fair. Fair.
So, but maybe there's something deeper. We're not gonna pack in this
Is
podcast,
this
but
your first Succession mention this season? I think it
no,
might be.
I think I mentioned it, but like,
You really can't
less as a
help yourself,
compound.
can't you?
It's not, yeah, but like, I've evolved. It's no longer as a comp. It's just like the sacred show that I love. So it's different.
Mm.
Like before, I was referencing it because like it's tied to it was quote unquote tied to industry. Now it's just I reference it because like it's one of the greatest shows of the last 10 years.
Fair.
Um, okay, let's fast forward as we wrap up. Yasmin and her aunt. Do I want to know what her aunt threw out of her mouth?
Wasn't it the mint? I
Oh
guess.
yeah, that makes sense.
I
Okay,
guess
that
it
makes
was the
sense.
mint that Otto gave her for her
Okay,
cock
yeah,
breath.
yeah, okay, that makes
God,
sense.
I hate
I
that man
was.
so much. He's so good. He's so good. You have better mouth than your brother. Oh.
Do you think this is the last time we see? I think last time we see Mustard.
You think this is the last time we see Mustin?
Yeah.
No.
Why do we need to see him anymore? Or at least,
He'll probably fight with Harper.
but why? They're not working together.
Yeah, but they will probably fight each other.
Okay, I don't mind. I want to see him. I just didn't know
No, I
how
think
he
I
would
think
come
I
in
think we'll
again.
see him again. I think we'll see him again.
Okay.
As disgusting as he is, I love him so
So
much.
Charles Hannani used to go both ways.
Bisexual
He
king.
also did things with his sister.
Incestuous king.
Like, I'm just like,
Well,
do we need to unpack? Do we need to unpack this? Do we just move on? Like, it's just the things that are said.
I can't with him. I actually can't. He's disgusting. I hate him so much.
I have not seen a man like get appreciated so much in death. Like,
In
it's just like
death,
his character
every
has changed
revelation is
so much.
worse. Every revelation is worse than the last. Ew.
When he was alive, we were like, oh, this guy is like, he's
We're like,
wicked,
oh,
but he's
he's a
funny and
bad
he's
guy and he's
fun.
bad. He's a bad father, but like, ew,
Now,
ew.
now he's like a sex trafficker. He's like incestuous. It's just everything they can throw at this man. He can't even defend himself. Mickey and Cora, this man cannot defend himself.
Yeah, another flashback episode. Ew. Nah,
Oh
ridiculous.
my God.
Why does Yasmin kick her aunt out?
I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about this a lot. And I think she feels betrayed. Like she feels like her aunt when her aunt comes, she's the only person on her side. Like she's the one person that is hers. And then she realizes it's just one of theirs. Like you're just another one of their people. Like
They're people, fair.
you're not my family. You're
Fair.
their lapdog. You're their bitch. You're their like person. So like I don't know. What did you do? I was thinking about it a lot actually because I was like, are you overreacting? But I know because I was like,
No, because
this
that
is
was me. I was like, where is this coming from? This feels like too
yeah,
much. But I like your explanation.
yeah. I was
I
actually thinking
didn't
about
get it.
that. But we can wrap up there.
Okay.
Anything else?
Let's do a few to appease your sponsors, FanDuel, for this episode. And it's funny because last episode we did some odds.
Uh-huh.
Let's do the same thing this episode. Over and under, or sorry, let's use some prediction markets. What's the percentage chance do you think there is a Yasmin is pregnant storyline this season?
40%.
Okay, you guys comment W in the chat if you think that's what's gonna happen.
What about you?
I hadn't even considered it, so I'm gonna go 20.
Oh, I didn't consider you that. How much do I want it? 0%. I only said 40 because I know how much this show plays with time.
That's fair.
Like the entire season could cover 18 months, for example.
Fair. Do you think? Okay, fine. Percentage chance Haley and Yasmin sleep together.
Like 95.7.
I think you lose money on that bet. I think it's one of those like 200 to 1 odds. I think.
Oh,
I think
wait,
you don't make any money by because
Oh,
I think it's dead on.
I mean, it's like Celeste and Yasmin reversed.
Yeah.
I think
Fair.
it's
Fun.
yeah. The funny thing is like Yasmin has been so faithful, but now it seems like that her and Mocha together is when she's going to cheat because I'm seeing a world where she sleeps with Haley. I'm seeing a world where she sleeps with Bevan. Like, so it's just,
Ah.
it's kind of like, I'm like, all the options are kind of there. I don't know
I've
what's
seen
going
a
to
world
happen.
where Henry sleeps with Whitney.
I mean, yeah. Like, these are two men who really don't have much compunctions about their sexual. Like, yeah, it's very possible. I don't think that's impossible. Yeah.
Cool.
Any other?
Those are all my overs and unders.
What's
Sponsored
your
by
odds?
Polymarket. Eh?
What's your odds for Henry and Whitney?
I think very like 70% chance they do it before the 6th episode. I think they will do it
Oh,
before the 6th episode.
fair. Okay. We were watching the press conference before the season premiere, the industry press conference, and they did mention that there's a big Sweet Pea episode, and I felt like I should say that just because of your love of Sweet Pea.
Long live Sweet Pea.
So
Oh my god, Sweet Pea, best character, man.
yeah, so
Best character.
there's a big Sweet Pea episode this season, so we'll see what that is. Let's wrap up there. I think this is as always. If you have any thoughts, any questions, leave it in the comments on Spotify or on YouTube. You can email us. And please like and subscribe. If you're watching on Spotify or you're listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever, and you like it, please just go to YouTube and just like it on YouTube. You don't have to watch on YouTube, just like. The likes really help. That's it. Eyo, thank you very much.
My pleasure as always.
Everyone listening, thank you very much. And join us next week coming back for more industry with Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya. Bye guys.